Beloved, welcome back to the shop. I've been down bad since last Friday. Our whole family has been. We got knocked down with some sort of a flu. I've been on the couch all week, and even now I feel like I'm just barely coming out of it, but I feel like a caged lion, so we're back out in the shop. I'm going to share with you my favorite mounting solutions if you've been looking for a way to mount any electronics, your GPSs or your phones to any type of power sport, side-by-sides, motorcycles, boats. It's a system that I've worked with for, goodness, 20 years now. It's absolutely reliable, it's very affordable, and super, super cool. So let's put one together on my snow bike and see where that takes us. Today we're going to be mounting up a Garmin InReach. The Garmin handhelds have had this same proprietary clip system for a long time. This is what it comes with. Fortunately, our friends over at Ram Mounts have made an adapter clip, so you can see that, well, the ram ball, if you don't know, I think most of you do, is this is the 1-inch ram ball. This is pretty much the gold standard for mounting in power sport. What it gives you is you can mount these round balls by bolting on, clamping. They have any possible combination with a combination of these small arms, and it gives you an infinitely adjustable way to mount something. So it doesn't matter what angle, you can adjust it. It's very, very good. And even under racing conditions, these things hold strong enough, and they're absolutely excellent. So I've used them for everything, and I'm totally convinced that they're reliable. Now, what they've made here is a replacement for this clip that you can take this off, and then you can mount the proprietary ball on there. Now, I've used this for several seasons on my snow bike. Problem is that they do wear out. So you can see here that I lost my GPS last year. Fortunately, a friend found it in the snow, but you can see, it no longer, it's just from the vibration, it's just worn the plastic out. And I think what I did, that looks like it's an OEM one. I don't know if didn't know if it was an aftermarket, but I've got a new one here that's exactly the same thing, that fits tight again. It doesn't come off anymore. So that's just something to be aware of. We'll have this piece here. We have the small arm. When you order these arms, you can get them in all different lengths, and you can get them in plastic and in metal or aluminum. The aluminum ones do hold tighter, but for something lightweight and small like this, I like, because it's going to be up on the steering head, I like to have it as light and small as possible. So I do like the plastic ones, and they work just fine for this sort of application. So GPSs and small phones. The other thing that we have here is a little bit of an amalgamation of some random pieces. You can get these aftermarket, other companies make them. So this is what we'll mount on the bike side, which I'll show you here in a minute. So what we'll have to do is just piece this together to replace this, and then we can get started. In the past, because of keeping the temperature of the bike on a snow bike is so important, I've always ran an extra or an external temperature gauge. And what I've found with this is that this gets covered with frost and snow and ices up, and I can't see it, and I can't even scrape it off with my thumb. So that's not been a very good solution. So I took that off, and because these are the same brand, Trail Tech, the plugs were the same, and my probe sensor that keeps temperature of the bike now transfers onto here. So whether I'm in my map on my map page or on the engine management page, I can always see the temperature. So that pretty much eliminated this. Well, I like to run a backup GPS system, not to mention this gives me the ability to communicate. This is the satellite subscription deal, so I can text Mrs. W, tell her I'm okay, we're going to be back. And I've ran this all over the place. I've ran it on the handlebar, and what I found is that this needs to be kept clear here. You can't have anything mounted up here, including this, because you go over the bars and you hit your chest on this, and whatever's not on here is going to get wiped off. It always, always does. Up here on the bars, if it's on a clamp, it gets torn off on bushes. So I want it down here where I can manage it, but it's also somewhat protected. So I got to looking, I had this hole drilled for this gauge. This is a custom little carbon fiber piece of dash that we made for this very reason, to get this down out of the way so I stopped breaking them. And I thought, well, what a perfect place to put this ram ball, right? I already had the holes in there for the gauge. So we're going to do that right now. I've got a stainless steel cap screw. I didn't even have to change this out. This switch right here is for my headlight. And we'll just mount this up here together. Shout out to my friend Lance over at XC Gear. He made this for me. Isn't that something else? What a great guy. He sent that over. I bought a headset or a motorbike from him, and he sent this for me. It's got magnets on it on the bottom, so when you throw your bolts on there, you don't lose them. It's one of the handiest things in the shop, and I never did thank him for that. And if you want to go get one, I think he sells these. Look at that, it's all aluminum, and they're not much more, around $100 or so. So what I've got here is I've got just a flat mounted ram mount here with a little spacer on it. And the only reason I'm using the spacer is because the bolt that I had so long. So it'll be fine. So let's put a Loctite on that and this, and we'll get her going. My Loctite nozzle clogged up and I can't get it going again. Blue Loctite 243. Of course, blue is medium hold, and red is more permanent hold. There you can see that mount. If you want to build a carbon fiber dashboard like this, you can just order pieces of it on Amazon, eBay, wherever. This is a little bit more than 1/8 inch. I forget the thickness, and then you just have to figure out how to make it work, but usually you can pick up a bolt or something and you can make a really nice dashboard with this. It's strong and light. The housing has got cutouts for these nuts so they won't spin. The ram mount stuff is really nicely designed. I have everything, I think everything that I own, power sport wise, has got these mounts on it, from holding mirrors on to GPSs and phones, and I can't think of anything that's ever failed. The balls will wear out, especially if you put something heavy on and you're really clamping it and maybe twisting on it without loosening it, but I wouldn't blame the system for that. They're really affordable as well. The nice thing about using Loctite on small hardware is you don't tend to over tighten it. I'm always worried it's going to come loose and I end up stripping stuff, and you just know that that's going to hold it for you. It just never comes loose. It's good stuff. All right. This, if I didn't mention, is the shortest, smallest, lightest arm that Ram makes, I believe. But you can see there, how adjustable that is, and it's got a big knob on it. And you can, you're not stuck with just your GPS here. You can mount a phone on here. Just get a phone mount with a Ram ball on it. And this always gives you the ability to, to really adjust stuff and to tuck and change angles of whatever you want. I guess we should probably mount that on there. And I don't like to have, things permanently mounted on, because I need to take this thing off if you're gonna leave it outside of a store or in the back of your truck. You don't want to leave your electronics. You don't want to have them out in the cold when you're transporting, and so to be able to quickly attach them and use them on other things. And look how neatly that's going to tuck up in there. I mean, it sticks above the bar a little bit right there, but not of any, these are built really strong and tough, and you got a really kind of a clean sweep here, and a really solid lockup that's going to be easy to read and access from the cockpit. Here you can see it from the rider's perspective. It's not interfering with the buttons on the Voyager Pro here. And then of course now you've got a backup redundancy, 2 systems, or the ability to communicate with family members, and tucked up there out of the way. That is a very good, clean system. Still gets my buttons. You could even, if you're dealing with sun, sometimes you need to change the angle of it, whatever you want. You can see how versatile it is, whatever your personal preference is. But that's a good system to keep those electronics, whether it be on moto or ADV bike. If you haven't figured this out already, don't be mounting stuff up here. It doesn't work out, especially if you ride aggressively. You will break it. These are $700, and I've got 4 broken ones in my drawer, and they've broken because of impacts. Now that this is down here protected with the billet cover, the same thing here. I'm less likely to clean it off if I go through bushes or brush, low-hanging stuff, and this is a great combo. So, as you know, I'm terrible with direction, so I've got my GPS on my Phoenix running, a second, a third, plus my phone. That's 4 systems. I'm not planning on getting lost ever. I don't want to. I want to sleep in my bed at night. So if I need to activate SOS, satellite communications, get search and rescue coming, you have that option there too. Well, beloved, that's about all there is to it. Please keep us in your prayers, especially Mrs. W and I. We have been so sick, but definitely coming out of the woods. So we would appreciate your prayers, and do appreciate your prayers. Also, good news, our Facebook page is back, so shout out to our friends. So many, I'll do another video on this, but there's so many people I want to thank that have jumped in and to help us get that back. That was really, really something. We thought we were going to lose it. It would be quite a shame. I've had that for a long time, and we had, I think we had a 500,000 subscribers on there. So we lost 90,000 subscribers because of that debacle, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So I have another video for you. I'm going to be mounting some clever storage solutions on here, some non-typical storage solutions, and I'll turn the camera on and share that with you as well. And those of you that are into this sort of thing, well, you know if you know, right? Pray for us. We pray for you constantly. Keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you guys on the next video.